Hi there. Thanks for joining me. I have a flip through today of a journal I recently completed. I made it from a 19, oh, I should know what year. We'll know when we get inside. I believe it's 1950 or 1951. Dictionary. It was a French to Dutch, Dutch to French dictionary. It's got some cool embossing on it, doesn't it? And I had a whole lot of fun playing with these. I made a series of 4. So if you're interested, there will also be 3 other flip throughs of the other journals that look very similar to this, but they're also all very different because I use actual pages out of books. So I can never ever replicate it. One of my journals they're always unique and can never be reproduced. I've taken some inspiration from some of my favorite journal makers here on YouTube, and 2 of my favorite things on journals are done by Jessica Rapp over at Two Silver Oranges. And one of them is right here with this. The first time I ever saw this used was on Jessica's channel, and that is actually a drawer pull for drawers. And so I put that tab in there that says journal, but you can take that out and you can put whatever you like in there of your own. You could even flip it over and use that paper and write on it and change that up. I just happened to get it started for you, so it just says journal. And then Jessica also does a cool thing. She'll put an eyelet up here and then hang all kinds of cool stuff off of it. And that's what I've done here today. All these things I find at secondhand sources. Charity shops, thrift stores, yard sales, estate sales, Happy Mail, you name it. If someone else has owned it, that's what I love to use in my journals. So in this case, I'm not sure where I found that leaf. This is an old vintage key. I love finding keys. This little feather and beads was actually part of a larger necklace. So they were all from other sources. Everything in this book has been secondhand except for this bulldog clip up here. Although it's rusty and looks old, it actually was shiny and silver just a couple weeks ago before I rusted it. Everything else has come from somewhere else, and someone before you and I, someone loved it before. I love the profile of the text blocks for these journals. They're all very similar, all the same laces. They're just slightly different sizes. These 4 dictionaries were actually all different sizes, the spine width. So I had to adjust in how many pages are in each one. So for Isolde, I've been calling her Isolde, and I'm not sure why. This is actually taken from a famous painting. I believe it was called The Harem, but I thought she looked very exotic, and I don't know why. She just started getting called Isolde. So sometimes I can't explain these things. I talk to them while I work with them, and it helps me if they've got a name. So she was Isolde, and I think she looks rather demure and looking over her shoulder at you with kind of a come hither look. So this journal is, let's take a look, 5 1/4 by, I believe it's 7 1/2, yes. And then her spine is 1 7/8 inch thick. When I took out the text block, I put my own in, and it has 11 signatures. Isolde has 228 pages of varying sizes in her, and I put it in with a hidden hollow back spine. I've added lace, all torn and kind of grungy looking on purpose at the head and at the foot. And you'll see here, let's put that over here. She also has a permanent and beautiful navy blue ribbon bookmark in there. So inside, in addition to the bulldog clip being new, I used end papers from TaylorMade Journals. She has a kit for antique end papers, and I just thought these dictionaries needed beautiful end papers, so and they are. I love how these turned out for inside Isolde. And this little tag down here is actually original to the book, so I was able to save it from the old end papers and then glue it back in when I put in pretty end papers, because the original end papers were just plain white and this book needed something really pretty. So now let me see. All the interior text blocks were different for these books. Maybe it's a little bit further along her year because I don't see it here. I have written it down what year she is. I believe she's either 50, 51, or 52. They were all from those years. So hopefully it'll be in one of the pages coming up. So let's take a look through. If there's tea-dyed papers, in these series of books, I did the tea dyeing. There's lots of laces along the edge, lots of sewing. I've left the threads long, but they're knotted. So if you're not a long thread person, trim them off. This is from a 1960s book on fish, and I just liked the illustrations. I used leftover odds and ends, the offcuts of the end papers, to make tuck spots and little places to put things and hold things. And as ever, all my books go home with a Two Nanas photo strip bookmark. And in this case, all these ladies, the backing on their bookmark matches the end papers. So that I've just put there. You can put it wherever you like. Tons of room for journaling in this book. Tilt out, tea-dyed ledger paper. A little tuck spot here behind this this vintage name place card holder. I imagine like ladies' bridge clubs used to use those and write their name on it. You know, Edna or Ethel. So I sewed it on, but I made it also a tuck spot, and you can journal in behind. Nope, I don't see the year there yet. I made a tab out of tags, and it's also a tuck spot. Lots of this tangly thread mess on purpose. I love it. That was inspired by Shanouki Art. And a little charm hanging off here. It was part of a necklace that I cut apart. Another tuck spot. I love finding ladies' recipe file folders. And that's where this is from. So all that bendy, worn out look, someone else did that. I just think that's cool. I made these from a file folder, and I actually sewed it right into the signature. So you'll see the other side when we get to it. A little bit of Edith Holden in here. It's always nice to have Edith pop up into a journal. Lots of these laces here. I just had fun. So much fun making these journals. Tea-dyed bullet paper, and I love the holes up there from the coil binding. There's the other side of that shipping tag. Little collaging here, but it's also a tab. And I put a bulb pin with a little bead on it, a little blue bead to match the end papers. This is a tuck spot with a little bit of collaging. So I put a little bit of tea-dyed paper in there. Paper ruffle that's been sewn on and it's been torn. It was made from Amazon packing material. This little page here is tea-dyed. It was from a day book, Beatrix Potter day book. I just love how that turned out, and put a little whale-tail tab on it. More Amazon packing paper. More journaling space. This is from a 1916 little business book on calculations, math calculations. This tips out, and I also sewed on to make it even longer for fun. Oh, we're missing a whole bunch of pages here. There we go. cookbook. Sari silk ruffle along there, tip out. This is from an old guest book. And there's the permanent ribbon. That can go anywhere, wherever you happen to be working. This is an envelope that I made from the page out of a bird book from the Birds of Paradise. And then I've just put in a tea-dyed music flashcard inside there. Oh, a little piece of paper there. A little tab I made from some leftover ribbon from the permanent ribbon bookmark. Some more of that pretty lace. This centerpiece tuck spot I made from a folded page out of the, trying to remember now, I'm looking for it on my shelf over here, 1949 tax code for Canada. So it's actually got lots of tucky spots in there. So even behind this etching of an old Roman building, there's our tuck spots, and then there's more tuck spots back here, and these are some more offcuts from the end papers. So I've included them in case there's something you'd like to do with them. Some old ledger paper, an old blank invoice. A pocket made from some Tim Holtz fabric that I received in Happy Mail. I've sewn it on. I've also added some lace. It hangs out the bottom, and I think it really looks cool. So I put an old bingo card in there. You can make that into a journaling card if you want, or just use it as is. This is from a 1979 birding book. A little collaging here. This lace came from the top part of this lace. So if they look similar, it's because they used to all be in one piece. Let's go back to it. This is from a 1912 music book. I just put a little piece of paper in there. I don't like bulldog clips to get lonely, so he's holding on to that. Some tea-dyed blank music composition paper. This is from a 1940s wildflower book. This is from a gardening book I have. It's a 10-year diary for gardeners. So I tea-dyed it, and it's fun to put into journals. This is a spread from one of my old bullet journals. I don't often fill them up. I like to start a fresh one at the beginning of each year, even if it's not, the other one's not full. And I just use the papers in the journals I make. This tip out, I made it. I extended it by putting a vintage flashcard on there. Some more paper ruffle from the Amazon packaging. This is a printable menu in case you're having a fancy dinner and you want to give people their own menu. This is from an old, I think it's 1965, Ladybird reader from the UK for children. Oh, this is the other side of that printable menu. I made whale tail tabs with photos. I wish I could remember. I'm going to try and find the woman who inspired this. I didn't think of this. This is not original to me, but I love it. And I use them whenever I can. More lace. Tons of lace in these, on all 4 of these journals. This is from a little diary. I just put another little tab on it for fun. There's no rhyme or reason to these journals. They are just an all sorts journal. It's from a vintage school atlas. Another little tuck spot. And then on the back here, some more of that yummy end papers from TaylorMade Journals antique end paper kit. And then my little signature back there and the year that I created this journal. And what I did was, this is sari silk. I've made a loop with a bow. You can adjust it. If you get this so full that you start getting a gator mouth, you can untie that bow and adjust the length of it. And then it just hooks. It just hooks on to that little drawer pull there and keeps it closed for you. Isn't that? Oh, I just love the profiles. All these journals have really cool profiles. So if you're interested, this journal, along with the other 3, as I said, they're all very similar, but they're not the same. Along with some pages from the original interior pages. I'm looking to see if the year is in here. I'm going to find it. Fear not, I do have it. I'm quite sure I do. As I said, they weren't all exactly alike. For the same publisher, I don't understand why they weren't the same. But anyhow, as I was saying, this will be available in my Etsy shop very soon. I'm not sure whether it will be today or possibly tomorrow. Depends on how long it will take for me to put the listing together. But I will announce it on my Instagram, so I suggest that you follow along on my Instagram because it will be listed there. I'll actually try and list it here or notify you here on YouTube as well when it's going to be available in my Etsy shop, in case you're interested. You could go over and take a look and see if maybe this is the kind of journal for you to have fun with. Thanks for joining me today, and I hope you have a great rest of your day. Take care. Bye-bye.